Late breaking news. San Antonio police need your help finding a woman with a medical condition who was last seen on Wednesday.
That woman is 44-year-old Vanjie Love Vasquez. Detectives say that she was last seen on Pecan Grove Boulevard near East South Cross. Police say Vasquez is 5'3" with straight brown shoulder-length hair.
If you know where police can find her, call 210-207-7660.
A social media challenge is causing car trouble in San Antonio. Police say it's encouraging thieves to target Kias and Hyundais.
One San Antonio woman says she has video footage to prove it, but she now is left with hundreds of dollars in repairs after becoming a victim.
And the Night Team's Patty Santos tells us there is a less expensive deterrent that you can get right now at the store.
My window here, of course, was busted. You can't see it because it's dirty, but there's like a dent there, and it just smells like cigarette smoke.
Ashley Santos says someone took off with her Hyundai last weekend. 2 days later, her car was found dented, trashed, and dumped without fuel about a mile away from her home.
I'm just thankful I got it back, but it doesn't feel like my car anymore.
A brief clip from her dash camera recorded the voice of the young suspect talking.
It works.
A social media challenge has thieves targeting Hyundais and Kias.
In the video, when they're like pulling away, they, I guess, are using another. It was a black Hyundai, and the back window was busted out because there was black tape.
The thieves reportedly taking advantage of a flaw in the ignition system to get away. Chad Miller, owner of Chad Miller Auto Care, says customer calls alerted him to the problem.
Last week we had about 7 different clients call between Thursday and Friday saying that they had, do we repair ignition locks? Because they've been subjected to that.
The cost to repair the damage ranges from a few hundred to thousands of dollars, but he says victims face a bigger problem.
The biggest thing right now in the automotive industry is that parts are not readily available.
San Antonio police released this list of the top 10 most stolen vehicles. Hyundai models fall in at number 4 and 10, and Kias at number 8. To deter thieves, always park in a well-lit area and a secure parking lot. Invest in a GPS tracking or alarm system.
Well, I've seen on TikTok to go old school and get the steering wheel lock, so that's what I plan on doing.
And police also say that steering wheel lock could maybe have thieves think twice about taking your vehicle. And take a look. This is just how easy it is to install one of these. You lock it up. We bought this at one of those auto places. Now I get stuck. We bought this at one of those auto places for less than $40. Myra, John Paul.
All right, good thing she's got the key. Now to other news we're following today. A big story, a series of therapy sessions and a 10-month timeline now at the center of a lawsuit against the Spurs and former guard Josh Primo.
During those private therapy sessions, Primo is accused of exposing himself to Dr. Hillary Cawthon, and not just once, but 9 times. Dr. Cawthon was employed by the Spurs as a sports psychologist. She says she first reported the incident to the Spurs organization in December of last year. Then several more times in the following months. Her contract was not renewed in August, and just last week, Primo was dropped from the team.
It took the Spurs 10 months to do the right thing. That's too long. My hope is that all who hear can learn from this.
The Spurs organization says that they disagree with the details and timeline presented today.
Meanwhile, Primo's attorney also responded with a statement saying that the athlete never intentionally exposed himself and was unaware that that was happening. In a statement, they claimed that, quote, Dr. Cawthon never informed her patient of the purported exposure, end quote. Dr. Cawthon's attorney says that he intends to file a criminal complaint against Primo and expects charges. We'll update you as soon as we get new developments.
A development in a murder case a little more than 2 weeks after San Ramon Soto was shot and killed in a parking lot. San Antonio police have arrested a suspect. This afternoon, 38-year-old Jose Geraldo Gonzalez was taken to jail. He's accused of shooting Soto in the back of the head as he sat in a parking lot in the 1600 block of North Flores back on October 14th. Police say a gun with Gonzalez's fingerprints was found at the scene.
Governor Greg Abbott made a campaign stop in Von Army today. Supporters heard about his plans to increase the penalty for selling fentanyl and what he says would be the largest property tax cut in state history. Now, last night here on the Nightbeat, we sat down with Governor's Democratic opponent, Beto O'Rourke. We made several attempts and requests to Governor Abbott for a similar interview, but he has not made himself available. Now, he did speak to our sister station in KPRC in Houston last month. Here's what he had to say about several major issues facing voters.
You've spent $14 million on busing migrants out of the state of Texas to cities like D.C., Chicago, New York. Some people are calling this a political stunt. What's your reaction to that, and what is the ultimate goal in busing these migrants out of the state?
So there was a primary goal that began the whole process to begin with, and that is I was on the border meeting with mayors and county judges, police chiefs, and sheriffs. And in small little towns like Eagle Pass and Del Rio, they were having dumped into their communities either hundreds or thousands of migrants by the Border Patrol, by the Biden administration. They don't have the ability to deal with that. As it concerns the cost of it, listen, as you can see by how much the New York mayor is trying to put into dealing with the small number of migrants they have, they're trying to come up with $1 billion for it. What we're spending by busing the migrants to New York or Washington, D.C. is just a tiny fraction of what it costs to deal with the problem caused by Joe Biden.
Switching gears now to a different topic, Texas now has some of the strictest abortion bans in the entire country. It would seem like the only real option for an unwanted pregnancy for women within state lines would be the Plan B pill. In terms of your administration's plan moving forward, could Texans see the Plan B pill coming off of store shelves?
No. Listen, what's going to happen going forward will be an expansion. It's the state of Texas's obligation to provide the Plan B pill at no cost to a victim of rape. And so that will be readily available, especially at clinics or hospitals or other places where a woman may go, but also by way of prescription. And the state of Texas will pick up that cost.
Now, the governor was also asked about the Robb Elementary School shooting and the lack of transparency in that investigation. He had this to say last month about the delay in getting information about what happened.
There's one explanation I've heard for that information not being provided, and that was the district attorney in Uvalde does not want that information released, and even testified from a witness stand where a lawsuit had been brought to disclose the information, and based upon her testimony, the judge ruled the information did not have to be given up at this time. Bottom line is this: the people of Uvalde, they deserve to know exactly what happened. The people of Texas deserve to know exactly what happened, and I want to see that information to be released as quickly as possible so everyone can know exactly what happened.
Now, this was just part of the governor's one-on-one interview with our sister station KPRC. You can watch that full interview along with Steve Spreester's interview with Democratic candidate Beto O'Rourke. It's all right now on KSAT.com.
And tomorrow is the last day of early voting. Then Election Day falls on Tuesday. If you have any questions regarding the election, such as where you can vote, you can just scan this QR code on your screen, and our elections page with everything you need to know comes right up.
There's a pitch being made to make a change to the San Antonio missions. 1 week from today, the city council will vote whether to approve the sale of the missions. Now, the city says that Major League Baseball has already approved that sale. It's up to the city now to do the same. A group of local investors would own the team. It includes local business leader Graham Weston. He's a local real estate investor, also former CEO of Rack Space. The city council agenda notes that the actual operations of the team and Wolf Stadium would be run by a group associated with Minute Maid Park out of Houston. That group is Ryan Sanders Baseball. If next week's vote goes through, the actual sale would happen November 15th. Now, there's also the issue of improvements being made to Wolf Stadium. According to the agenda, the cost of future projects would continue to be split, with the mission's owners paying 30% and then the city paying 70%. But the idea of that downtown baseball stadium, that is still a big lingering conversation that's gone on for years.
A confrontation between San Antonio council members leading to a new vote. Next week, San Antonio City Council will vote on whether to censure District 1 Councilman Mario Bravo. According to Agenda Memo, Bravo, quote, aggressively approached and berated a fellow city council member, end quote. As we reported, this confrontation involved District 7 Councilwoman Ana Sandoval ahead of a budget vote in September. Both previously dated. An independent investigation found Bravo's actions violated city administrative directives, specifically ones covering equal employment opportunity, anti-harassment, and violence in the workplace. The mayor had previously suspended Bravo from his committee assignments. Both Bravo and Sandoval's office declined to comment for this story.
There's been a lot of talk lately about the thunderstorm potential for tomorrow, and we still have that chance of a brief thunderstorm. I'll be back in a little bit to talk about that, time it out for you, and let you know who's most likely to see some rain tomorrow evening. Not just the morning sprinkles, but real thunderstorms tomorrow evening. I'll see you in just a bit.
All right, and
Hi, I'm with KSAT 12. I do the behind the kitchen door. Uh-oh. Well, I just wanted to ask if you guys were able to...
Well, we got a little ahead of ourselves there, but Behind the Kitchen Door is coming up next, and we also got lots of big game coverage with scheduling issues because of weather from our Greg Simmons in just a bit. A college snack bar operating without a permit is told to immediately stop selling certain foods.
And a seafood restaurant is cited a second time for having an expired permit and a soda fountain covered in slime. The Night Team's Tim Gerber takes us behind the kitchen door.
Students at St. Philip's College Southwest campus can grab a snack between classes at Pappy's, but their choices are pretty limited following a recent inspection where they earned a 79. Hot dogs were temped at 127 when they should be 135 or higher. Raw beef patties were stored touching bread and hot dogs. The employee didn't have a food handler's permit, and several food items made off-site were missing required labeling. The business also didn't have the proper permit. Under their current permit, they are only allowed to sell prepackaged foods. They were ordered to immediately stop preparing hot dogs and hamburgers and other foods that require heating. The inspector noted roller hot dogs would be allowed if they installed several required sinks.
Hi, I'm with KSAT 12. I do the behind the kitchen door. Uh-oh.
This worker was surprised to see me this week when I stopped by to see if corrections had been made. She had obtained the food handler permit, but they still need to update their permit, allowing them to make hot foods. For now, they're selling hot foods prepared off-site.
They brought them to me at 10:30.
Okay, so they're pre-made somewhere else. You're not making them here.
No.
Okay.
No,
The worker said she's waiting for a sink to be added so they can expand their menu options. A re-inspection was ordered. SA Seafood at the 5200 block of Days of Allah earned an 81 on their recent inspection despite operating with an expired permit for nearly a full year. According to the inspector, the permit expired in September of 2021. It was cited as a violation at their previous inspection in February. An employee this time was seen checking their phone, then handled food equipment without hand washing. Another worker was caught eating in the kitchen. Containers of sauces, eggs, and cabbage were being stored on the floor. The soda nozzles had a slime-like substance on them, and the inside of the ice machine needed to be cleaned. That's what's behind the kitchen door. Tim Gerber, KSAT 12 News.
All right, now we're taking a look at live cam at the Corey Market. To quote our producer, it looks pretty, and it really does.
Looks pretty.
It does look nice out there. It's even nice still with the humidity, Adam.
I know, Myra and her humidity, right?
Bad hair day.
Listen, that's a big reason.
No.
Not enough gel in the world for me right now.
Plenty of other ones.
You know, I beg to differ because that means we get fiesta hair from Myra.
Ooh, that is true.
Right?
And it happens whether I wanted to or not.
Come on, all I ask for is birthday and federal holidays
That's
and
also true for the
fiesta.
confetti in your hair during fiesta.
Yep.
I love that fiesta hair, and it takes humidity for it, and it takes humidity to make rain. A lot of talk about chance of showers and storms tomorrow and timing, so let's get right to it. First of all, I do want to say most of us will be dry when it comes to thunderstorms tomorrow. You look at the rain chances, and the first half of the day, yeah, it'll be damp, just like the past couple of mornings, a little bit of fog, some drizzle here and there, a few sprinkles. Just nuisance dampness for the first part of the day. Then we get into the evening between about 6 p.m. and 10 p.m. And there's a slight chance of a few thunderstorms at that point as a cold front drops in. So let's talk about it. Here's the overall pattern. A lot of activity moving through the Four Corners states. That's where we have this little swirl you can see from the radar signatures and the satellite imagery here. That's over Four Corners region and especially Arizona, bringing some high elevation snow again to the Rockies, and good for the ski resorts there. Anyway, this is the upper level component. There's also a cold front at the ground that's headed our way, and that's what could be just enough to trigger a very thin line of brief thunderstorms to hit a few of us tomorrow evening. I love the new Futurecast. I think it really paints the picture very nicely. 7 a.m., low clouds, gray, damp, drizzly, a few sprinkles here and there, just like the past few mornings, more of the same. By 1, 2 o'clock, we see some sunshine and actually is a nice afternoon. Then the cold front comes in at about 7 p.m. and with it, this little narrow line. We've been talking about that for a few days. We foresee a little narrow line to develop, most of which will be north of San Antonio, especially closer to Austin and points northward up I-35. But we could be just on the tail end to get clipped by a few brief thunderstorms tomorrow with the off chance of a rogue severe storm and a wind gust up to 60 miles per hour. By and large, this is 8 o'clock. You look how most of the KSAT 12 viewing area high and dry. But as we progress through the night, odds do increase a little bit by 9, 10, 11 p.m. for locations east of town, Hallettsville, Moulton, Gonzales, even down into Karn City, Falls City. That's where we have slightly higher chances as we should see more development closer to the Gulf Coast. But in and around San Antonio, we're not expecting much, really, if anything at all. So we don't foresee any widespread disruptions to Friday night football or Friday night plans. Newest drought monitor, it's in every Thursday. It's not good. Exceptional drought for a good chunk of our area. And that's the worst drought category. Northern Bexar County, all of Comal County, a good portion of Guadalupe County, 70% of Texas in drought. So here's the bottom line. For San Antonio, 6 to 9 p.m., about a 20 to 30% chance of a brief storm. That means most of us remaining dry. There's a higher chance east of San Antonio, the closer you are to the Gulf Coast. The off chance of a severe storm, got to point that out. Plan for most of us being dry and just a little breezy tomorrow. We're going to have a stout southerly wind early, then it's going to shift northwesterly in the evening. And by the way, by 11 p.m. tomorrow, we're going to get rid of the humidity and the sky will clear. Dew point is 68, temperature is 75. It's muggy now, but it won't be humid for the weekend. This weekend, we'll get rid of the humidity briefly, and it's going to be comfortable out there. Temps in the 70s right now. We'll start the day tomorrow near 70. In the afternoon, we'll make it to 83 degrees for the high temperature, and then that 30% chance tomorrow evening around sunset. This weekend, fall-like. Mornings in the 50s, afternoons near 80. Then next week, it's back to the humidity and morning fog.
All right. Thank you, Adam.
All right, the weather's looking good for Friday night football. Well, we got big games going on tonight as well.
And this is the final week of the regular season. So the district titles on the line, playoffs on the line, and playoff positioning on the line. And we have more games than usual because of the concerns, if you will, about the possibility of inclement weather tomorrow night. So when we come back, it is a big, big game Thursday. And are the Roadrunners road ready? Coming up. John Jay Mustangs wrapping up their season tonight against number 2 team in 12's top 12, the Brennan Bears, who are playoff bound as part of our expanded big game coverage on Thursday night. The Bears pounce first. Brennan on the J21 yard line. Quarterback Manuel Lotta sets up the screen pass to running back Jason Love, who has a convoy of blockers in front of him. He gets all the way down to the 4-yard line before he's taken down. That sets up this. Love takes a handoff, powers his way in for the touchdown. 7-0 Brennan. The final for Gus. 58-8. Brennan finishes the regular season 9-1. Harlan cheerleaders welcome us to Fair Stadium. It's the number 9 Hawks host number 10 Taft Raiders fighting for the second playoff spot. The Hawks are up 13-10 over Taft at the third. They would add to that lead here inside the red Raiders 5-yard line. The handoff goes to Jacob Gonzalez. He muscles his way in for the touchdown. 20-10 Harlan. The final from Ferris. Harlan takes it 27-10. Now let's head to Hero Stadium, where Madison was hosting Johnson with the Jaguars in third place in District 28-6A. First quarter, the Jaguars deep inside Maverick territory. Quarterback Ty Hawkins keeps it on the option read. He finds a seam up the middle and makes his way into the end zone from 8 yards out. 7-0 Johnson. The final from Hero Stadium. Jaguars take it 41-7. Lee facing off against Churchill in their annual rivalry with their seasons coming to an end tonight. First quarter, the Chargers inside the 10-yard line of Lee. They hand it off to Isaiah Blankenship, who picks up 6 tough yards to get down to the Lee 1-yard line. Next play, they give it up to Blankenship again, and he's This time he caps off the drive with a touchdown, 7-0 Churchill. The final from Comalander Stadium. Chargers take it 41-7. We know where we are now. That's the water tower in New Braunfels in Unicorn Country. That's where the Judson Rockets came calling to see if they could unseat New Braunfels as second in district behind undefeated Steele. First quarter, 3rd and long for the New Braunfels Unicorns on the Judson 26. Quarterback Leighton Adams drops back and then steps up in the pocket and fires over the middle to Lance Beagley. Lunges in for that touchdown, 7-0 New Braunfels. They would lead 16-0 in the second, and this is one of the games moved up to tonight. Take a look at the final. New Braunfels wins it big, 40-14. New Braunfels Canyon and Converse tonight to meet up with Wagner, both 4-1 in district, but the Cougars are 7-1 overall. Second quarter, Cougars are up 7-2, but Wagner has the ball at the Canyon 32-yard line. Quarterback Cameron Smith. Anderson drops back and is looking deep to the end zone. He launches it to Markel Ford. Makes a great contested catch for the touchdown. T-Birds take the lead 9-7. Let's see if that has gone final, and it has. Wagner falls to New Braunfels Canyon 30-24. Here come the Mules. Number 4 Alamo Heights taking on Sam Houston, SAISD Sports Complex. After forcing a turnover on downs, Mules strike first, drawing the defensive line off sides. Quarterback Conley McKenna decides to keep it himself for a 12-yard touchdown. Extra point is good. 7-0 lead. Mules win it 57-6. Finish the regular season undefeated in District 14 5A Division 2. Now it's time to head to Alamo Stadium, where we're in the first quarter. Brackenridge up 14-7 over the Owls, but Highlands responds big time. Quarterback Willie Gaskin keeps it on the design run. He starts left. He reverses course, cutting back to his right. He's able to turn the corner in the process. Picks up a monster block to spring him free. Down the sideline he goes. One man to beat. Stiffs arm him and stays in bounds with a 72-yard score. They missed the extra point, though. It's still down 14-13. Let's head to the big game coverage scoreboard for that final and more tonight. Brackenridge takes it 44-14. Highland still makes the playoffs. Veterans Memorial over Bastrop Cedar Creek 53-7 tonight. Elsewhere, Luling and Marion 28-26. That's another game that got moved up to tonight. Is Nixon Smile over Natalia 41-11. Also moving up to tonight as well. Antonian over St. Thomas 38-35. That game was supposed to be played on Friday as well as Holy Cross victory over Bernie Geneva 28-0. UTSA Roadrunners want to get their first win on the road against UAB. Next. When the UTSA Roadrunners travel to Birmingham this Saturday to face the Blazers, they'll be looking for their first road win against UAB. The Blazers lead the all-time series 4-2, with UTSA capturing their most recent meeting last year here in San Antonio, a narrow 34-31 win to capture the Conference USA West Division title. Now the Roadrunners are looking for their second straight 5-0 start in conference play.
Are we desperate or are we prosperous? Man, it's been a while since we've lost, right? What does that Texas locker room, what did that feel like? What did that Houston locker room feel like? We'll experience that again Saturday if we don't play desperate. This is a really good football team that's very well coached, that's had, they've been snake bit at the end of ball games. On the road, mind you. They haven't been snake bit at home.
Kickoff in Birmingham on Saturday is set for 2:30. The Eastern Texas fall again tonight, but this time to the undefeated Philadelphia Eagles 29-17. San Antonio FC will be one step closer to United Soccer League Championship if they can get by Colorado Springs Switchbacks FC this Sunday in the Western Conference Finals. As after head coach Alan Marcina, goalkeeper Jordan Farr, and defender Mitchell Taintor were all named finalists for the 2022 USL Championship Awards. As after SAFC tied the league records for most wins at 24, road wins with 13, and shutouts with 17. But it all won't matter at all if they can't get by the Switchbacks on Sunday night.
Two very, very good teams, two contrasting styles. It will come down to who's able to execute, consistently throughout the game.
It's really difficult to beat a team 3 times in a season, especially a team as good as Colorado. So it's going to be a fight. It's going to be a bunch of good players going at each other, a bunch of great teams. So it's going to be a great atmosphere, and it's going to be a great game. But we just got to execute, and hopefully everything will fall into place.
Good luck to them. And 3-1 right now. The Astros are leading the Phillies right now in the 8th inning, the bottom of the 8th, looking to take over the lead in the 2022 World Series. Good luck.
Greg, I'm okay with the Texans losing to Philly on the football field. If the Astros can beat Philly on
there
the
you go. Nice trade-off. Be okay.
Exactly. Thank you, sir.
John Paul's been checking on his phone.
I could probably imagine that.
Non-stop.
We'll be right back.
Narrow window of opportunity for a few brief storms tomorrow evening. Otherwise, predominantly it will be storm-free tomorrow. Get into the weekend. Beautiful, low humidity, sunshine, high temperatures near 80 with mornings in the 50s. Next week, it's back to the humidity, so morning fog and dampness again starting Monday. Just the right way to wake up on a Monday, huh?
Perfect. Thanks, Adam.
Thanks for joining us, guys.
Have a good night.